So, hello guys, I'm back. Uh, please excuse my voice. I still have a bit of a cold. So, if I cough like this, um, it's my cold. I'm getting better though. I was a lot worse at the start of the week. I'm already getting better. Um, so yeah. And before I was doing this video, I had actually put on makeup on my face, like concealer and uh, kind of, I don't know, like a foundation cream, I don't know. Um, it did not look good. Um, and I took it all off because I figured I want to show you the real me. And that is with pimples in my face, with messy hair coming from work, being like having red spots in my face, being tired. You know, at least you will see a real person in front of the camera. And, I'm not some beauty guru, some pop star. When I'm using makeup, I don't even know what I'm doing, so. And I actually prefer no makeup. So, there you go. But that's not what I want to talk about. Got my coffee here because I don't know. So tired from work. What I want to talk about is a story time. I'm gonna tell you something personal out of my life. And yes, Lou and Molly, you are welcome to make fun of me for that. I'm not ashamed of it. It was beyond my control when it happened. Um, I'm not, you cannot trigger me by it. Like, feel free to try and make me feel horrible about it, to make jokes about it, whatever. I don't care. So this is something very personal, and yeah. So when I went to kindergarten, I come from Germany, and um, it was a Catholic kindergarten. And I'm not Catholic. I was baptized as Evangelion, is I think what you call it. Like the opposite of being Catholic. So yeah, I don't even know how I was even like allowed in there, but whatever. So they were like very strict, and I remember I didn't like it there. Like, my birthday is on December 6th, which is the Saint uh, Nicholas Day. And instead of celebrating my birthday in the kindergarten, they told me, no, today is not your birthday. It's St. Nicholas Day, and we're gonna celebrate St. Nicholas, and you won't get any presents or whatever, because how dare you have your birthday on this day? So all they did was sing songs about Saint Nicholas, and little me was just sitting there on the chair and being shocked because I was practically being ignored, and it was like my birthday, and people told me, yeah, we're not gonna acknowledge your birthday. because of some person that is like dead since like hundreds of years ago. And you know, I was just shocked because there was the first time in my life that anybody had like rejected me. And you know, when you're like 5 years old and someone tells you like, yeah, I don't care if it's your birthday and like we are not gonna celebrate that. And like, you know, when you're like 5 years old, this is quite a shock for you. And it was. And also what they did, they sang songs about Saint Nicholas that went like, and if you don't behave, Saint Nicholas is gonna come and beat you black and blue. And I'm not kidding you. That was basically what the song was. And mind you, it is a children's song, but I was, you know, I was kind of scared because he was gonna come and beat me up if I didn't behave. So for the following years, I guess I developed some kind of trauma because in the following years, when we went to like a kind of like an indoor amusement park, and there for my birthday we always went there. And there was also, you know, my birthday, there was always a guy who was dressed up as Saint Nicholas. And he had like a big sack, and he gave candy to the children. But whenever I saw him, I almost had a panic attack. Because of that song in kindergarten, I always thought, oh boy, this guy is gonna beat me up, because I was quite a wild kid. And I broke some rules as a kid. Like, I was pretty naughty most of the time. So that scared the shit out of me. So that kindergarten made me have a trauma as a child. So thanks for that, I guess. The thing which made my parents remove me from the kindergarten, though, was the one thing where we were like sat on our chairs, like in like like, no, we didn't sit on chairs, like we sat on the ground in a circle, and we sang some sort of song about Sleeping Beauty, because we had like a fairy tale theme week or whatever it was. I don't really remember anymore. But what I know is that I was kind of bored, so I just didn't care for the song. And I just laid down on the ground because I was like, oh, this is so boring. And then one of the staff grabbed me, pulled me into a room. They tied me up with skipping ropes and put tape on over my mouth. Yes, they did that. They tied me up with skipping ropes, and they shut my mouth with tape. I'm not kidding. And Of course, I told my parents that, you know, and they were shocked, like, would she go? Why would she tell us that? And oh my God, my parents were really, really concerned. And I went to the kindergarten and they asked the staff um, what had happened and that I had told them that. And their response was, no, we actually didn't do that. We just told her to imagine being tied up and having tape over her mouth. I may have been like 5 years old, but I think I can know the difference between imagining being tied up and actually being tied up and having tape over my mouth. And it was not imagination, I'm telling you. There were also other messed up things happening there, like when you also like sometimes when you wouldn't behave, they would put you in their office and they would just lock the door and you could be there locked in the office for like an hour, and they just didn't care, and you were there crying in the office locked in for an hour. And yeah, which is also illegal because you can just lock some persons into a room. um and it was just pretty messed up. And my parents, they took me out of that kindergarten, and boy, am I glad I never got to see any of that staff again. um but I think it left some, yeah, I think it affected me till this day because I have a very hard time trusting persons. Like, whenever I meet a new person, I'm somewhere like in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, like, okay, what are they planning, or what are their true intentions? And it takes a very long time for me to actually accept that that person is a decent person and that I do not need to be afraid. Um, so yeah, there was a fucked up story. Um, I wish my parents would have called the police and would have investigated that kindergarten some more, but there were no photos. There was just my story, and they told my parents I had lied. And I think my parents just probably thought, yeah, she has a wild imagination. Um, um, because as a parent, you don't want to think that the staff in that kindergarten actually ties up your kid and puts tape over their mouth and stuff, because, you know, uh, that's the place where you trust your kid to be. But it happened. And, well, now there's nothing we can do anyway because it's too long ago. Um, and there's obviously like no evidence beside my story. Um, so, yeah. If you have like any story or whatever you want to like tell or whatever, um, you can post it in the comments, or go into the Discord of me and Pneumonic Abyss, my boyfriend, and write me a personal message, and we can talk if you want to exchange some stories or advice or whatever. If you just, um, feel free to share your stories. And if you want, I can do some more time, like storytelling time. I got a fair share of stories I can tell you. Fuck that thing that happened, and oh yeah. So, recommend this video to your friends if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to. And have a good time. Don't let anybody get you down. You're awesome. Don't be a victim, or like don't let anybody treat you like a victim, because you matter and you are strong as hell. Okay? Don't let anybody treat you like shit, because you deserve better. And yeah. So see you next time, guys. Stay awesome. And just thank you for all your support and the likes and the comments and the subs. I really appreciate it. And see you next time.